The enduring hits that John Lennon and Paul McCartney created as the Beatles were a constant source of inspiration. Their early collaborations took place in their childhood homes, and they are widely considered two of the finest songwriters in music history. They used to work together in the first phases of songwriting, but as they got older and their musical tastes developed, they started working on their own more and more. Lennon and McCartney were jointly credited with every song they wrote while they were members of the Beatles, even though they each contributed individually. Their agreement to this came from a time before they became famous all over the world. Their antagonism was evident despite the legendary status of their alliance. They subsequently admitted that the intense rivalry between them inspired them to write more original music. There had always been a subtle struggle over who would get the coveted A-side of a record, Lennon recalled on the amicable competition in a 1980 interview with Playboy. He took pride in the fact that he was the creative force behind many of the band's early hits and soundtrack compositions, which he said proved his supremacy. Additionally, he conceded that he couldn't reach the notes on A Hard Day's Night, and that McCartney performed the bridge instead. Decades after the fact, in 2018, McCartney acknowledged that the two had an unspoken rivalry while they were in the band. He said in an interview with CBS's 60 Minutes that the two eventually confessed to their rivalry. He reflected on how, whenever Lennon heard one of his songs, he would be inspired to compose an equally impressive one, and how he would reciprocate when Lennon composed an outstanding one. He cited Lennon's Strawberry Fields Forever as an example of how the wistful song inspired him to compose Penny Lane, which he wrote about his own Liverpool boyhood. Even Lennon was envious of one of McCartney's songs. Lennon grudgingly admitted that All My Loving was totally McCartney's idea in the same Playboy interview when he was questioned about the genesis of several Beatles songs. Although he was proud of his powerful guitar part in the background, he said that he wished he had been involved since he thought it was a remarkable piece of work. Their collaboration, which included some healthy rivalry, was one of the most fruitful in music history, inspiring the writers to pen some of the most memorable songs of all time.